Hey Trails Collective, Ian here with part of the weekly rundown, this one for November 5th, 2020. And so as I had mentioned in the prior episode, I'm going to make an attempt to split apart the weekly rundown rather than going from 30 to 70 minute segments, which is, I know, tough on people's schedules to really get in. We're going to try to clip it into maybe 10 minutes or under, or 10 to 15 minute segments, and hopefully you can catch it more on your commute to and from. At some point, I'd still love to get to the place where we can turn them into podcasts as well, so you don't necessarily have to tune in on just the YouTube channel, but I haven't had the bandwidth so far to do it. If any of you out there have some time and want to help me with that each week, I don't think it'll take too much, but it would probably be of use. So let's see what's happening this week. So on Wednesdays, if we have gear reviews, I'm going to try to post those up. So last night I posted, or early this morning, a longer in-depth interview of the Salomon S-Lab Cross shoe here. And I also just filmed a shorter version. So that's also being mindful of, again, maybe there's going to be some people that really appreciate the deep dive that 30-minute episode will run. But I also just filmed one closer to that 10 minutes for somebody who wants more of the short course version. So check that out on the YouTube channel and on trailscollective.com. So getting into some of what also happened this week in terms of media and results, which is what this episode will be about. In the media, Dr. Jay Friedman of the Gunks Runner Pain Cave rolled out episode 71 with Jake Jackson. Jake's an individual who's quickly risen to one of the better 24-hour runners in the nation. And they chat a bit about just balancing work, family, him picking up a coach, and battling imposter syndrome. So check that out. Ellie went live last night, the first time for a live TC interviews, and we may experiment with that format as well. This week she had on and was chatting with stud Jess Marion. So Jess is arguably one of the better technical trail and mountain runners in our region. She has nabbed FKTs on the iconic routes, including the Prezi Traverse and Pemi Loop. So check that out as they chatted a bit last night, and you'll be able to find it on the TC interviews section of the website as well. Let's see, what else happened out there? The Maine Trails Coalition released their plan for the statewide network of multi-use trails for the next decade and included 5 big projects. They're asking that you check it out, share, and provide some feedback. It looks like a pretty awesome network of trails up there in Maine. The New York, New Jersey Trail Conference wrapped up their 100 Miles for 100 Years Trails Marathon Challenge. The event was a huge success. It was one that we were able to support as well, donating shoes to different milestone winners. And so we were thankful to be a part of that and support such a great entity. So thanks to all who participated. They helped to raise over $45,000 to support the conference's mission in building and maintaining an amazing array of trails for us all to use. And some of those stories are shared on the New York, New Jersey Trails Conference sites. So check that out. From event results, it was a bit quieter weekend this past weekend. There's probably a couple that I did miss, but 2 that were on my radar. First one, October 31st, 2020, Big Pond Blue Moon. The Big Pond Blue Moon run is in Big Pond, PA. It's an event put on and to support the Troy Rotary Club, and it's a cool format. The event starts at 10:45 with subsequent waves starting. It's prediction format, so the goal was to get as close as you can to midnight. So whatever your prediction was, you start that far ahead of midnight, and the top finishers end up being those who come in closest to midnight. The top 2 finishing within the minute after midnight, Brooke Ward of Roaring Branch, PA, and Melissa Procius of Canton, PA. And friend and supporter Jeff Jolbrook is the one who cued me into this event. He just has a blast doing it, and he was up for providing a few words in the moment. So take it, Jeff.
Hey Trails Collective, this is Jeff Jolbrook coming to you from Big Pond, Pennsylvania, the site of the Big Pond Blue Moon predictive race. It was a 6K. We ran around the unilluminated fields in the area. It was a really fun time. It was cold, great blue moon out tonight. You didn't even need a headlamp on. You could just run. It was so clear. It was fun to see and run with a lot of my friends. It was just a great time. Really well put on race and a lot of fun. Probably about 100 people in it with all kinds of safety precautions. People ran with masks at the start and the finish, actually, because the start, you could start anytime you wanted after 10:20, and the 5 people who finished right after midnight were the victors in this race. and there were no watches, no phones, no music or anything like that allowed. So I have no idea what my time was, but it was just fun. It was just fun to get out and run. So that's it from Big Pond, Pennsylvania. Take care. Jeff's out.
And then another one that ran on November 1st. This is one that I had tracked and gave you the cue in the couple weeks prior to the event. Fire on the Mountain 25K and 50K in Green Ridge State Forest, Maryland. It's put on by the Potomac Highlands Distance Club. 2020, or this year's format, had an out and back format over predominantly single track trail, starting and finishing from the Point Lookout Overlook in the southeastern edge of Green Ridge State Forest in western Maryland. We checked in with the event and RD Kevin. Given his history as a reporter prior, I noted that he does have a pretty great post-race write-up for any of you who want to check it out beyond what we'll provide you here in just a second. So check it out. He does a really great job with it. He was pretty hammered in schedule this week with work and family, but he was able to get us over a bit of a rundown on the event. So take it, Kevin.
And with that, the Fire on the Mountain 50K and 25K trail races in Green Ridge State Forest on Sunday, November 1st, 2020, despite COVID, went off without a hitch with some social distancing and face covering guidelines in place. We had a nice small field, but this is in Western Maryland, but this event usually has a small field. We had 39 finishers in the 50K and 26 in the 25K. It was the 10th year for the 50K and the first year for the shorter distance. This is the view from the Point Lookout Overlook at the start line on Carroll Road within Green Ridge State Forest. And this is the view that runners actually saw on Sunday morning. It was about 38 degrees or so and foggy in the valley there over the Potomac River. Adam Lowe, here at left, is taking a piece of wood from Lily Cottle, an event volunteer, and whose dad was running the race. But Adam at the left here, he was on his way to about 100 meters to go before the finish line. At the finish line, there's a campfire, and he throws the log into the fire to stop his time. Adam finished in 4 hours, 56 minutes, and 17 seconds for the win, and he had kind of overcame some difficulties and redeemed himself in that the last 2 years he's finished second each time. He was very happy to get the win this year, and he ran the 8th fastest time in the event's 10-year history for men. It wasn't easy for him though. Levi Faust of Somerset, Pennsylvania, and Chris Pabian of Allison Park, Pennsylvania, went through him toe-to-toe with him for the first half, and then a couple other guys also on there. Parker Goss from Baltimore, Maryland, at 25 years old, she won the women's title in 5:58:01, and she had a little bit more distance in between her and the others, but Lauren Jefferson of Rockingham, Virginia, was second in 6:33:29. Katie Shepard was third early on, but at aid station 2 hit the red trail and decided to pick it up a notch. She, the 33-year-old from Arlington, Virginia, crushed it over the second half of the course, which is arguably the more difficult part, and she won the 25K race in 2:58:41. Meanwhile, William West Suit, 38 of Midlothian, Virginia, led the men's field in 3:14:11. Our youngest finisher today was 16-year-old Grace Campbell from Frederick County, Maryland, seen here in the middle. To her left, your right, is her dad, Jim, and her brother there in the green shirt, Elijah. Grace becomes the youngest finisher in 50K in the Fire on the Mountain 50K history. Last year, her brother at age 17 had that title. It was short-lived, however. And this year, we also had the oldest finisher in event history, Gretchen Bolton of Montgomery County, Maryland, completed the 25K course. in 4 hours, 43 minutes, and 45 seconds, just 75 seconds shy of the official cutoff time to claim 25th place in the 25K run. The Fire on the Mountain 50K and 25K races are held within Green Ridge State Forest in Western Maryland on the first Sunday in November. That puts next year's race date at November 7th, 2021. For more information, photos, race recaps, and more, check out www.phdispatch.com.
So that's what we have for today's media and rundowns. I wasn't able to see what Cultura has coming this week, but it's always fun to see what they have on deck. There's a bit, I think, busier weekend coming in terms of events, and I've checked in with a couple of those, so hopefully we'll have some info and results for you for next week. Stay tuned for the fastest known times for FKT Fridays, which I will film and release for tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you prefer this shorter format, whether it's working, and I will connect with you later. See ya.